Hi everyone, Linda Heldman here for Canadian Beats. I have with me on the phone today from Kitchener, Ontario, Drew Taylor. Welcome, Drew.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So you are a Canadian singer-songwriter, and your love of country is your genre, right?
It is. It is. Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. Now I have to ask, I have people I know in Kitchener, and I'm surprised that we have never met. Why is that?
Oh, it's probably because I call myself a studio musician. I'm a singer songwriter, and I've really been focused on mastering my craft and building my sound. And I've never really joined any organization or I haven't done a ton of shows in my city. So I've kind of just been back and forth between Kitchener and Nashville, um, and I haven't really got my name out there. But this is the year. This is it,
Awesome.
2018.
Awesome. Well, the CMA Ontario Awards and Conference is in June in London, so hopefully you can come on out and we can meet then. And then, of course, the big show, the CCMAs, is in Hamilton this year. So we're lucky we have both of these things. Well, the Ontario one obviously is going to be in Ontario, but to have the CCMAs in Hamilton this year is great. So hopefully you can come out for that too.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there this year. This will be the year for it. I went to CCMAs 2 years ago. Loved it. Went to the conferences. It was a great experience. But last year I was actually in Nashville. And it just didn't work with my schedule and what we were doing. But this one's a little closer to home. This is in Hamilton this year, so I'd love to meet you.
Great, great. Well, hopefully there's two opportunities there, and who knows what else comes up. Because if we get you up this way for any house concerts or shows at a couple of our venues, we'll definitely be meeting then. So it'll be exciting. Awesome. So you have a new single out right now called YoYo, which
I do.
this has been released to radio as well as social streaming sites.
It has. Yeah, that song we wrote a couple years back. Actually, it was one of the first songs we ever wrote, and like together as a team when I started Drew Taylor, and I never did anything with it. I released it digitally back then, and then we took it off, and we're like, what are we going to do with this material? So I've spent a few years trying to figure out my sound, and we said, you know what, Yo-Yo's a great song. Let's release it, and hopefully get my name out there. And then we're going to follow up with a really good one coming up as well. So
great, great. I love it. My first thoughts when I was listening to Yo-Yo is me, sunny summer day. I have a sunroof, so sunroof open, shades on, and cruising down the highway.
yeah, it's a head bobbing song for sure.
As I call it, a driving tune. It's really, really good. You also have an EP that's available, and
I do.
the songs on it. You wrote all the songs that are on this?
I did. Yes.
Great,
I wrote,
great.
with a bunch of great people.
I have to say, there's one song in particular. Your voice to me has qualities of probably one of my favorite songwriters of all time, and that's Derek Rattan. I absolutely.
I've gotten that before.
Really? Your song Buying
Yeah.
Islands, I'm listening to it and I'm going, wow, he sounds so much like Derek. Not a bad
Yeah.
thing.
It's the rasp.
I've known Derek for years. No, 2004 is when I first met Derek, and it was just, yeah, fabulous, fabulous man. I love, there's his singing, his songwriting is just phenomenal. Anyway.
Oh, it is. He's amazing. Amazing.
Yes.
I never got a chance to meet him, but one of these days hopefully I run into him.
Well, you see, this is why you have to come out to the CCMAs and the CMAOs, because he'll be there.
Exactly.
And I'd be more than happy to introduce you. So, who are some of your musical influences for songwriting?
Oh, you know what? That's like, I mean, the Canadian-wise, honestly, it's just been such a mix, because when I first got into country, well, actually, my dad was a musician, and I kind of grew up on the older stuff, like a lot of ballads and stuff, and then when I turned about, I don't know, I had like kind of a metal phase growing up as a really young teen, and then when I was about 14, 15, I started really digging into country, and I'd have to say Dean Brody kind of got my eye,
Mm-hmm.
and Jason Blaine, those boys, and then it started to evolve, and then it was Brantley Gilbert, like his old stuff, and I still look back and I still listen to those songs, and I'm like, those are my main influences. But over time, you grow as an artist, and you really you try to master your craft and kind of what you want to sound like. So being 27 now, geez, I can't believe I'm 27.
Oh, you old man, you.
My influences, I would say Brantley Gilbert still, he'll always be, and a guy named Cody Johnston,
Mm-hmm.
and Cody Jinks. They're down in Texas, and they are just, when I'm cruising down the road, I don't have radio on. I'm strictly listening to Texas country.
Great, great. Ah, fantastic. Brantley puts on one heck of a show. He really does. My buddy Corey Marquardt from North Bay, he was out on tour with Brantley and had wonderful things to say about him.
Yeah, Brantley is absolutely amazing, and his guitarist Noah, he's really helped me and guided me over the past year. He's a great guy.
Great, love it. I love it. So I know if you're a country artist and all that stuff. Tell me a little bit about your journey. I know you just mentioned a few things, but you say you've been spending time between Nashville and Kitchener. Are there any particular songwriters you've been working with down in Nashville?
Particularly, I mean, I would say there's a few that we have our writing group. We call ourselves the Outsiders.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. We write really good songs together, and we all click, and it's about four of us, and nobody's from Nashville, so we label ourselves like, yeah, we're the Outsiders. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I got in Tim Thurman. He's great. He's one of my best friends, actually, and we connected on Facebook, and ever since then I've been going down, and every time I write, usually I bring Tim. So yeah, it's kind of become I would say about four people that are closest to me down there.
That's good.
And I also love writing with different writers. I mean, every write is different. You're bringing in new ideas, new formats on how to write, and I mean, I love writing with different people all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's having been down to Nashville a couple of times now. It's very much, if you're not performing, you're songwriting, and like you schedule appointments to songwrite, and there are writing rooms, or there are, if you don't have your own, there's places you can book to go gather and write songs and stuff. It is such uh oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's such a creative atmosphere down there, and I absolutely love it.
That's the beauty of the city. I mean, I'm not a city boy by any means. I grew up on the outskirts of the city here, and honestly, I moved out to New Dundee, so I've been living there for 5 years, and I refuse to go into any other city. Like, I won't go into Toronto unless I have a meeting. But Nashville, I mean, it's just different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can sing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
I get down to Nashville every opportunity I can at this point. because I just soak it all in, and I come back feeling energized, and when I start to feel that well draining a little bit, it's like, okay, I'm due. I got to go down, visit my friends, top it back up again. Of course, I go down and I come back with the accent, and then it goes away in about a week, and then, but then as soon as
I have such a thick Canadian accent, and everybody knows I'm from there. And the only thing that I've picked up is, hey man, you want to write a song? It's a song. I mean, and that's the only. Sometimes I'm talking to my girlfriend. I'm like, hey babe, I'm writing a song. She's like, no, it's a song.
You want to sound country? Change that O to an AW, and you can speak Southern.
Exactly. All are swell.
I love it. I love it. So what does the summer look like for you? You're trying to book some shows and get your name out there now?
You know what? I was gonna in February, and so much stuff has came up with right now we're trying to get a lot of songs published, and that's kind of our focus right now. As far as my my artist side of things, I have been looking, and I have been trying to book, but it's just I was a little bit late this year. But I have a few shows booked, and I have a few shows booked in South Carolina and in Georgia this year. So, I mean, as far as Canada goes, I don't have too much planned, but in the southern states, I have a few shows going on.
Awesome. Well, we will have to change that and get you some shows up here. So.
We're gonna have to.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Well, you can check out my Instagram at DrewTaylor_official. You can check me out on Facebook, Drew Taylor, or you can go to my website, www.drewtaylorofficial.com.
Awesome.
And I really just wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity and interviewing me today.
Not a problem. We love supporting up-and-coming artists. That's how Canadian Beats started, is to give a voice to people who just don't have that yet. So it's nice. It just gives you exposure that you might not otherwise get. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Wish you all the best. And
well.
it's awesome. Please, Drew Taylor, check him out on Spotify. If you like what you hear, go buy it on iTunes. Follow him on his social medias, and yeah, definitely look him up, Drew Taylor. And I am Linda Heldman for Canadian Beats.